I'm here with Rocco Dean.
Hello.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Before we get into the Fulham defeat, special thanks to Bass & Bly, sponsors of the podcast, based in Harrogate, premium independent photographic dealership with 60 years of history, specialist in cameras, binoculars and spotting scopes, and they stock the top brands such as Canon, Fujifilm, Nikon, Sony,
Pentax.
They carry premium optics such as Swarovski, Opticon, Leica, Zeiss, and they have always sold the very best in quality used gear that comes with a guarantee. Various guarantees. I guess that's based on age and condition and all sorts. Something we should probably ask Justin. But if you go to bassandbly.com, there's a little pop-up, and if you sign up with your email address, you will get £10 off when you spend £100 on any used gear. Great time of year coming up to Black Friday. I'm sure there's going to be some good deals to be had. So make sure you get to bassandbly.com or
6 Beulah Street in Harrogate.
Exactly that. Well, yeah, no Dara this week. It's a bit weird doing it without Dara. Me and you back to the OGs, I guess. OGs.
Yeah.
So no rules. So we could bring some chaos. Talk about maybe our favourite female wrestlers or something. I don't know.
Do whatever we want.
Yeah, well, I think anything than talking about the misery of Leeds United. I mean, are you getting used to us losing now? We're smiling because it's like, what could you do? This is it now. But
yeah, this is a path we wanted. We wanted Premier League, and yeah, not been that pretty, has it so far? I'd like to score. Scoring goals would be better than never looking like scoring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. I just something flashed in my head before we get into the game as well. That I don't know if you saw this week, but Football Manager coming out in November. Football Manager 26, and it's the first time they've introduced women's football with playable leagues into it. And there's a really funny tweet from Out of Context Football Manager, and it was searching for under 18s women wonder kids on Football Manager 26, and a picture of the FBI looking at his hard drive. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I'd be chuckling. I think I saw it after the Fulham game. It's like, that is exactly what I needed. Dara, he's never missing, and one of the first things he said after the defeat was it's the first time in 30 years a team has lost 1-0 to an own goal in stoppage time. Typical Leeds, really, isn't it?
Well, typical London. London. Not just a lose. Like it always seems to be like really weird, horrendous circumstances that we lose as well. Weird penalties or outrageous red cards, etc., etc. And yeah, that one defies explanation. I'd love them to interview him. I want to hear what he has to say about it.
Goodmanson.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you have to say for yourself. I'm pretty sure he's sorry.
Oh no, he's sorry, and I don't blame him. I'm not looking to hang him out to dry. But like they always say, oh, talk us through that great goal, and you hear the same thing. Oh, I just hit it and it went in. But this one, I would actually like to hear his explanation.
What is your explanation? Oh, he hit the canvas like a boxer who'd been smashed in the jaw, didn't he?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, really sad that Ricky Hatton passed away. Actually, the reason why I mentioned him is because I know that Rocky, you went to Vegas all those years ago for the Pacquiao fight, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, it was a hell of an experience. Flew how many thousand miles to watch about 2 minutes of boxing, and yeah, it's sad. It's poignant now thinking back. Like that was the moment that it all started unraveling, and yeah, what an absolute top bloke and legend he was. I was heartbroken when I heard that. So sad.
Yeah, good tributes to him at the weekend, and good tributes from Man City in particular, and obviously Phil Foden and everyone. But let's move away from that, as sad as it is. So yeah, it's an encouraging performance, I suppose. We can say that, can't we? But it just wasn't enough. Do you think there's progress, or do you think there's just kind of more warning signs of what's to come?
Well, so I was working away at the weekend, so I didn't see any of the game, and I sort of formed my own opinion prior to watching the game, and I was like, well, this is just a typical relegation defeat. This is what teams do. They, start off okay and they compete, and then they end up losing, and then they get dragged down into the mire. But having watched the game today, I feel a lot better. I mean, It wasn't good.
I'll give you credit for this, Rocco. I was thinking about this morning. I thought, I know Rocco hasn't seen the game, and he said he's going to come back and watch the whole thing. It's like that is the last thing I want to do. Like if it's rare that you miss a game now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if we've lost, it's literally the last thing I want to do is go watch the whole 90 minutes.
Well, I've just done it for our listeners. So like and subscribe, please, because I had to sit through 90. To be fair, it wasn't 90. It was probably 60 minutes because I used that plus 15 seconds every time it went out for throw in.
Well, that's a good idea. I thought you were going to say I'd put it at 1.5 speed. Just thought Dan James, when he came on, looked even faster than usual.
No, but yeah, so like it wasn't good, I don't think, but it wasn't bad either. I feel like we're going to find out next week. I don't want to draw conclusions based on Saturday. I still think the sample size is too small for us to, start thinking that we're in some sort of goal scoring crisis. Doesn't look good, does it? But I think it's too early to say. We could go to Wolves and hammer 4 goals in. You just never know. It could happen. But yeah, like Farke saying that it was a perfect away performance, I thought that was bullshit, really. What did you think?
Yeah, well, obviously Farke made quite a few comments afterwards, which
he loves a sweeping statement nowadays, doesn't he?
He does, doesn't he? Like, I mean, we talked about this on the podcast a few weeks ago. It was when the transfer window shut. We talked about Farke's not going to come out and say he hasn't got enough, and that he will back his players. And I mean, how wrong were we? But I think technically he is backing his players. But the quote was, players within the team, wingers, attackers in particular, outstanding at championship level, but still a point to prove in the Premier League. We don't have the best individual quality in this league, so we have to come with other skills, is basically what he said, which is pretty harsh. I mean, it's the truth. It's the reality. It's what we all think and feel, and he knows we're not stupid. So do you think that's kind of a rallying cry from him, or is it he's not accepting defeat, is it?
I'm really unsure, to be honest. I feel like it's the comments of a really insecure manager. But then again, he is an honest guy, and it could well be man management. I don't know. I really don't. Like a lot of me has been thinking the end of last season, the board not coming out and backing him. I don't know. Like Dara said after Luton, he's a dead man walking, even if we go up. And, I didn't really agree at the time, but you could maybe think that he might have been right. And if Farke is worried, or even not even just worried, but sort of put out or insulted that, his job is on the line, if he's been given a certain amount of time to prove himself, get a certain amount of points by a certain time, he should really feel like he shouldn't be under any pressure. I don't think he should be under any pressure personally. He should just be the manager that's doing the season and see what happens. But I don't know. It's all complete and utter speculation. But I don't know. I can't help second guessing it.
Yeah, and I think there's an element of, because we are now talking about him and his comments, that there's an air of it that is probably protecting the players, because even us and everyone is talking about the comments rather than can Dan James do it, can Okafor do it, etc. So I think it's a smart quote in that sense, and we'll just have to see how it all plays out. I mean, the reality is Leeds haven't scored in 277 minutes of Premier League football. That's in open play, I assume that stat is. So the goals have got to come from somewhere, and I guess that's the question in the title of this is where are the goals going to come from? How do we do it?
Well, the tactics themselves, they're definitely not helping. But again, like I'm not going to sit here and criticise them because this was the intention at the start of the season to be solid, and it's pretty much doing the job. We're just not looking like getting a goal at the other end. But yeah, when you take out an attacker, it's going to be like this, isn't it? And I don't know. Like I think Okafor looked pretty good. I quite liked him. He looked fairly dangerous, but there's just not enough up there. There's not enough bodies up there. We're not getting enough pressure.
He's too isolated, isn't he? You remember even the times when we used to get frustrated with Rafinha, which is hard to believe, but we did. There was times where you think he'd go missing in games, but the reality of him going missing was because the ball was pumped to him on the wing. He was left high up the field, and he's got to do all the work himself to get Leeds United up the pitch. So and you just can't do that. The whole team's got to go. And like you said, it's not, the tactics aren't helping. The tactics are helping us defensively, but when it comes to offensively, it's a real struggle because we're playing so flat and compact in defence that actually getting everyone up the field to create a compelling attack, if you like, is proving challenging.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got, like, on Saturday, looked to me like Longstaff was the most advanced, at least most of the time. They seem to change the shape of the midfield trio quite a lot. I couldn't really get my head around it from watching on telly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not bodies in the box. We're not getting into a position where we're able to exert enough pressure and have enough play in the final third to, get all our fullbacks and wingers and midfielders up there in the middle. So it's not just a case of, will Calvert-Lewin score goals? It's just a case of, being able to build better attacks. And yeah, a lot of the attacks are starting with long balls as well, long balls over the top, or just like trying to get forward quickly. We're not passing it around as patiently because we're probably not able to. And yeah, I think against Newcastle as well. I mean, almost like it reminded me of Jesse Marsh a little bit, that we were letting them like when their defenders had it, that's when we were swarming them and trying to win the ball back and create chances. From winning the ball in high areas, and that seems to be a tactic. But yeah, it's very different football to last season, but I think it has to be.
You got warm me when you mentioned his name. I just
sorry.
I got sort of going to a bit of a meltdown. To be fair, I mean, this sort of segues into the players a little bit. And last week, Jesse Marsh had mentioned Dan James in a press conference and saying that because they played Wales in the, didn't they, Canada, and I think he mentioned that he's a great guy. Dan James is a great guy. I just think, well, you sent him out on loan pretty quick. He might be a great guy, but he might not think you're a great guy.
Yeah, I know.
So Lucas Perry was obviously in for. Lucas Perry was out because he was injured, and Darlow came in for him. I think there's always a little bit of nervousness because of how he performed in the in the League Cup, but he had a fantastic game. Probably our best player on the day. Really, he was reactive when he needed to react. Some incredible saves. Good stop from Harry Wilson, which is another funny sub story to the whole day. Yeah.
He looked good. He looked very confident. He was coming to the edge of his box and sweeping things up, and yeah, he did everything right, really. That's the thing. Like, I think pretty much everyone played well. I mean, I thought Struijk was tremendous, to be honest. I was really impressed with him. I thought he had a great game. The defenders didn't really put a foot wrong, I don't think. I mean, a couple of half chances for Fulham, weren't there? But I mean, Darlow, two saves that you'd want him to make, but think back to that QPR goal that beat Meslier, and it's the sort of thing that he lets in, isn't it? So, fair play to Darlow.
Yeah, I think you're still sort of traumatized from the wet fish hands of Meslier, aren't we? That you feel like Carl Darlow is going to do the same. But I thought he had a great game, and positive signs that we have got that if Perry is out, and hopefully Perry isn't out for too long. I think we just need consistency in there more than anything. But that being said, Darlow finished the season, didn't he? So
true, but it's funny, isn't it? Because when they were explaining about why Meslier didn't leave, and like we're all completely baffled. And then it just goes to show you there are reasons. There's always something that we're not sure about. And yeah, the injury to Perry is clearly the reason. And yeah, I mean, if Meslier had a chance to leave, fair play to him for sticking around when we needed him. If it was a decision to be made, maybe he was, side before self every time. Should we give him some credit for that? Or is that going a bit far?
I'm not saying anything on that. One thing I do... So I don't know if this crosses your mind. Maybe it's just my irrational thinking, but when I hear of a keeper getting injured and it's like a thigh injury, I'm like, what the hell has he done to like injure his thigh? Like, what has he been messing about? Has he been on the trampoline with the kids or something? It's just annoying.
I know. It feels reckless. Shouldn't be living life outside of football.
No, he should be just in some sort of cryo chamber being frozen for the next game, shouldn't he? Yeah, I think that's reasonable. And Dan James subbed on for Brendan Aronson, which felt like it when he was on a bit too long. I mean, I'll be honest, me and Dara had a bit of back and forth in the group chat. Dara's been all positive, and I was being very negative, let's say.
Yeah.
And
I thought he played all right.
I thought he had a good game. And in hindsight, now that I've settled a little bit, I thought he was very good defensively in particular. And he was good at getting us up the field, but it's just the same old thing of like, what pass are you making? Like we need you to make a decisive pass. We're not getting many attacks here. This needs to go to someone. I think it was that one where he ran from the right hand side, ran across the sort of final third, and then made a pass to left hand side. And it was just the most readable pass I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I just thought as soon as he had it, I was like, please don't make that pass, please. And then he played it. But
Yeah, there was one in the first half as well. He could have played it quickly through to Calvert-Lewin, and he just took a touch, and it wasn't that obvious, but it was just one of those moments that like we need to that's the type of moment we need to take. Like we need to capitalize on those little openings that we get, and he just he turned to the side and might have won a throw in the end, but yeah, he played well, but it wasn't enough, was it?
no.
I would have liked to, I'd have liked the changes earlier, but then James got injured, so maybe he shouldn't have come on at all. But it was
I don't know whether I don't know what happened to Dan James, because he got sort of kneed in the back, didn't he? And I didn't know whether it was kind of a knock on from that, or whether he'd done something else. I don't know.
Do you know? So I was watching without commentary, so I didn't hear what anyone was saying. But there was a moment where he got skinned down the line, actually, by probably that Kevin guy, and he looked to me like he pulled up. I mean, it looked like thigh or something to me. I'm pretty worried. Have they said anything? I might have missed it, but I don't know if we've heard anything yet.
Someone in the comments might be able to help us. There's a few joining us tonight, so thanks for that. Just pulling up Steve's comment, I'm Welsh and DJ was poor for Wales v Canada. I just wonder if he's still sort of carrying little injury or some niggles, because he doesn't seem like he's been himself for some time. And that's not a Premier League quality thing. I think he just looks off it. It looks like he's recovering.
Yeah, there was one. I mean, he tried to burst through just after coming on, and it was quite a dangerous moment. And he ended up winning a free kick. He got badged out of the way. But we've not seen much from him, and we need him. Yeah, we need him to. I want to see him properly flying, and we've not seen it. We desperately need it. We really do. Because the other options, Harrison and Harrison, they're just filling a gap and doing a job, but we need better, don't we? It's just going to be a struggle otherwise. Gnonto?
I think Gnonto's got capability. I think Jack Harrison's got capability. I know it's not a popular opinion, but Jack Harrison has done it before for Leeds United, and I think there are things that he can do that will bring us goals, bring us assists. But he's not getting a consistent run as well to kind of get comfortable. So I can't remember what it was. Have we had something like 23 changes since the start of the season, like rotating the team around?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Something like that. And you think that was very rare that we would have any changes last season, and we're having to still tweak to find out what's going to work in the best league in the world. So I think there's an element of us getting quite impatient with some players already, but I think Farke's still finding his way around what the best thing to do is in these scenarios, and you can totally forgive him for that.
True. Yeah. It's seasons. Well, the problem is that international break as well. So we are still right at the beginning. 4 games. Not got that wrong, have I? Have we played 4 times? Yeah, we have.
Yeah. Someone will correct us if not. This is what podcasting this
is. But it's nothing, is it? And there's been a lot of changes, more changes than I expected, and certainly to the way we're playing as well. So probably to be expected, that it's going to take us a bit of time to bed in. Like Metcha might be an option wide as well. Again, he came on, and again, I thought he looked all right in the little that we saw of him. Looks a capable player, and I think that's a theme. Like, I think all of our players I thought they all looked like decent players. Longstaff, I was really impressed with, actually. I really like him. He's Premier League caliber right the way through him. So
the thing I like about Longstaff is he came to the club knowing that it was going to be a tough relegation scrap, and not knowing or thinking it was going to be anything different. So he knows he's got to dig deep and do his role particularly well. And I really like that about him, because I think he obviously feels he's got a lot to bring to the team and help everyone step up. So I think he's been great, and I think it was really good to get Ampadu back in there. That was so important. I just feel like he just glues everything together. I know there's still an element of someone needing to glue attack to midfield, and I think that's potentially Tanaka's one of those coming back in. But Ampadu, in terms of knitting the whole thing together and keeping us structurally sound, is the one.
Yeah, and just as we're talking, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? We've got a good balanced back four. They're all playing well, and then with Longstaff and Ampadu, I mean, that's a Premier League midfield duo, surely. I mean, maybe we don't need three in the middle. Maybe we can play a number 10 or even another striker. So maybe there's time to try that as well. He's maybe just being cautious in these early weeks, and it's going to be. I think he'll do 4-3-3 again against Wolves. But it has to work better. Like we have to start actually creating chances. I mean, we had nothing. There was that Longstaff shot that just skimmed the bar just about, and then Stack had the left footer that didn't hit well. Wasn't a big chance, was it? But in the second half, he skied it. But apart from that, I don't think there was anything, because Calvert-Lewin's header was offside, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. I think on Stack, I think by probably his own admission, he had a pretty poor game. And I think when we're talking about getting big players in who can create something in set pieces, and then we continue to have poor set pieces in general, like hitting the one man in the wall for the free kick is like, for crying out loud. But I just think he had a bad day. That's and that happens in football, and it's a shame, because if you wanted anyone to be firing, it would be Stack, because I think he's the one as well, one of those players who can knit things together from defence to attack quite nicely. But it just didn't work for him on the day.
Yeah, I didn't think he was terrible, but he didn't have his best game, did he? But I just feel like that midfield is crying out for a bit of flair, and I don't even think Tanaka adds that, does it? Does he really?
No,
he's a different type of midfielder, but
it's not flair.
It's not flair, is it?
I think he's very quick on the turn. He's very good in a tight spot, which can help us out, but it's not necessarily creativity. It's just he's good at getting away from a man who's tight on him. There's a difference between someone who can just tear down the wing or rip through sort of three players with ease, to just being able to get out of a tight space. But I do think Tanaka has got an awful lot to offer. But we'll just have to see what comes. Wolves is obviously going to be a good test.
Our most flary midfielder is Aronson. Is that what we've come up with?
Oh man, that is upsetting. It's very upsetting. Someone was getting kind of annoyed in the comments. I'll see if I can pull it out. Where is it? If we have to rely on Jack Harrison, it's a poor state of affairs. I'm being optimistic here, Mark. I'm preserving mental health and all that, but I think you're probably right.
Isn't it ridiculous though that we can't spend money, like these rules that are in place? I mean, it's awful. Like I never even realised it was a thing until this summer. And like you look at Fulham and like the players they're bringing on, they've got Adama Traore and Smith Rowe and Wilson himself and this Kevin Guy, loads of forwards that would all help change our team. And how long have they been in the Premier League? But they're able to just amass this group of players who are good enough at this level. And even though we apparently have more money to spend, we can't spend it because of bloody rules.
When I saw Traore, I thought, well, he's obviously really muscly, and I thought this isn't fair again, because he's now got like really thick hair, and if you're having to defend him and one of those like hits you in the face, it's like those ropes they have in the gym, don't they? Like with PTs, It's like if you're in for a header with him and one of them smashes you in the eyes, he's not going to get done for that, is he? I think they're dangerous, to be honest.
Well, at least he stopped greasing himself up.
Yeah, do you remember he did used to grease himself? I remember.
Yeah, he did.
Do you remember when we played Wolves at Ellen Road and Stuart Dallas out-muscled him. It was like one of the best things ever.
I do remember, yeah.
And that it was because he was like so greased up, I think. I just think he sort of slid off Stuart Dallas's shoulder.
Well, Stewie thinks we're going to stay up easily.
Easily,
thinks we're going to romp it.
Oh, that'd be nice.
As he told the square ball, yeah.
I'm not there with him yet. I've got a little quiz for you here, Rocco. There's some league stats. So let's go for it. So, out of all the Premier League teams at the minute, I want you to guess where Leeds United stand in terms of stats.
Okay.
Shots on target per match.
20th.
Correct. Big chances.
19th.
17th.
Oh.
Burnley are lower, Aston Villa lower, and Wolverhampton Wanderers are bottom for big chances. Accurate crosses per match. Bearing in mind, this is something that we've obviously bought someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's very good in the air. Yeah.
20th.
19th. Burnley are 20th. And touches in the opposition box. This isn't a sexual question.
18th.
17th. Sunderland, Crystal Palace, and Burnley below us. And number of corners.
It can't be that. We had about 20 in the first half against Everton. I'm going to say 16th.
We're 12th, which shows we're getting a lot of corners and we need to make more of them.
What about the stats from after minute 30 in the first week of the season?
We're actually 20th.
Rock bottom.
Yeah. Let's move on from that one. XG conceded.
Ooh. 9th.
12th. I think this is really interesting. So Tottenham Hotspur 13th, Sunderland 14th, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Newcastle in 20th. Quite interesting. Interceptions per match. Where are we in the interception table?
It should be pretty high. I'll go 8th.
5th.
Ooh.
Which I think is really interesting because we talked about the likes of Stack being very good at reading the game. And I think we've got some players in there that are very good at reading the game. So if we can get those interceptions, break up the pitch quickly, we're in good stead. But I like that. It sort of backs up the thinking behind what we were trying to do. And actually, we are being quite successful with it at the minute.
True. Yeah, Farke will be happy with, a few of those stats, not all of them.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, I don't know, like when I was in a bit of a stupor with it all before I'd actually watched the game, like I started to like wonder, like, why are we being so defensive? Like, should we not just keep doing what we were doing last season and try and make it work? And I think back to Bielsa, and like, I was so smug about the fact that we'd come up and we were just taking everyone on and it was working. Like, Bielsa's not actually a magician. That could just be the way to do it. He's pretty much the only person who's tried it. Maybe we should just, be trying to go for it. But I mean, I don't think that's right. I was just thinking that.
I think it was in the commentary the other day, they were saying that Vincent Kompany with Burnley came up, tried to play the same way and just got found out. And
they got 100 points, didn't they, in the championship?
Yeah, exactly. So the comparisons are very much there. And I did see as well on Twitter the other day that a Burnley fan was retweeted something with a comment, and it was a Liverpool saying, how are you supposed to score against Burnley when they put 10 men behind the ball? And he said, well, we can't win either way because we'd get the mickey taken out of us if we played 4-3-3, what we used to play in, and got smashed 5-0. So it's the peril of what could happen to you if you play in that way. And I think history and stats and results tell you that the risk is big. So and Arsenal was, I know it's a poor performance, but we probably tried to play a bit too open rather than being a compact side, and it just left us wide open and conceding a lot of goals basically.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if it's not working, then the other thing is perceived to be the answer, isn't it? And that's always going to be the case. And it's obviously not not always true.
No, exactly that. So yeah, anything else to pluck out from the game before we touch on Wolves?
I don't think so. I think Bogle
Referee was
again.
crap.
Yeah, he wasn't the best. Although it was a bit rich of Farke complaining about that throw in. Bloody hell. It's like it was about 2 minutes before they got the corner that they scored from, and it wasn't our ball.
I would have argued about something in the previous game affecting that result, to be honest. I think Parker's within all of his rights, to be honest.
Fair enough. No, I thought I thought they all did all right. The one thing I would say, like from a Fulham perspective, like they didn't play well, and they only got on top of us for like the last literally 7 or 8 minutes.
Kevin, when he came on, was particularly good.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, he looks good. But like for them, like for us to be saying we were robbed and deserved a draw, and we probably did deserve a draw, but like from a Fulham perspective, like you think, well, this team's come to Craven Cottage and they've been competitive, but we've kept them at bay easily, and then we've turned up the heat and we've scored the goal. As lucky as it was, they've done their job, and they would surely just see that as a decent home win. So they were lucky to get it, but I don't know. Yeah, probably the pattern of play says we deserved a draw, but at the end of the day, we were under the cosh towards the end. Like we couldn't keep it going. So
that's the kind of football that we're going to have to get used to against teams that are that little bit ahead of us, and you play on the precipice of maybe nicking a result or maybe conceding and losing the game. And I always think, I don't know why, when we start playing like this, I always think of Cardiff, and I think of, I can't remember when it was under I think it was under Bielsa, where we just ran them ragged the entire game and they just defended and then nicked it late on, and it was a proper smash and grab. And it's like, that is what Cardiff had to do at that moment against top sides in the Championship. We've now come into the Premier League. We're stating the obvious, aren't we? But we've come into the Premier League. We're playing the best clubs in the world, and we're having to do the same whilst we kind of grow. It's just the nature of the beast, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Swansea, not Cardiff.
Was it Swansea? Sorry.
I think if it's the one that you're thinking of, yeah.
But
yeah.
I knew it was some Welsh crap.
Exactly. I just don't want to give Cardiff any credit that they're not due. Yeah. Sad, but we move on. The lads, they didn't disgrace themselves, I didn't think.
No. So a Wolves kind of basically in the same boat as us with no cutting edge. I think their striker Strand Larsen, who scored 14 goals last season, is injured and hasn't featured yet, and it sounds like he's going to be out for this game as well. So, and like we've seen in the stats we just talked about, I mean, doesn't look like there's goals coming from anywhere, but that's the famous last words against Leeds.
Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, I just think this is an absolutely massive game. In terms of just momentum, confidence. I mean, if we lose this, I don't think of it like, if we lose that game on Saturday, it's going to be pretty devastating, and everyone's going to be panicking, and it's going to be Farke out everywhere. And then we've got Bournemouth at home, which will be, mega. But it's too early to be talking like that. But this is just the emotions of it all, isn't it? So we have, but if we win, on the other hand, like we'll all be, bouncing off the ceiling, won't we?
This is what football does to you when you've had a few crap results, and we haven't scored in open play at all this season. So we're on the cusp of pressure being massively stacked on us, that, like you say, that there is huge pressure to win, in an emotional sense, because I think your emotional brain takes over your logical brain in situations like this. We lose to Wolves, who by all accounts look like one of the teams that are going to be down there at the end of the season. It's a massive 6-pointer. So yeah, I think you're right. We definitely have to go get something in Wolves. It's a big game, and I just want us to have a decent weekend. It's like, I miss that feeling of having a win and then just relaxing for a few days.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing as well. I mean, if we drew at Wolves, I don't even think that's the best result, really. Obviously it would depend on what happens in the match, but if you offer me a draw right now, I definitely wouldn't take it. But it's an away match; it's tough, and it's as big for them, if not bigger, than it is for us.
Like Leeds have got the curse of London. Do Wolves see Leeds United as their bogey team that go to their ground and get results from nothing? Maybe they're nervous about Leeds coming because of what's happened to them in recent years.
Yeah, very true. I would love a repeat of those two wins. I know.
I want someone to score and do the Luke Ayling.
The Luke Ayling, Robbie Keane impression.
Yeah, it's kind of meta, isn't it?
Yeah. The one thing I would say actually about Fulham that I was going to say was that it was the fact that it was away. If it was at home,
yeah,
the crowd probably carries us to a victory there. And thinking about playing Fulham at home, when you're comparing us to Fulham, because Fulham, well, they're an established team, but they're a team that we need to be sort of striving to finish around. We looked not far off them, did we? Apart from that extra quality that they brought on and towards the end, but in the match itself, we looked as good, as capable a side as them, and maybe it was home advantage that made the difference. So that is a positive.
The owner of Brighton was talking recently about their plans. There was obviously the plans that 49ers presentation landed on the Athletics desk, didn't it, around what they're planning to do over the next few years, which we could probably go into it another time with Dara, or we can touch on it now. But Brighton have sort of said something similar on what their plans are to try and, I think, basically sustain getting into Europe. And really, they haven't. If you look at their stats over the last few seasons, they've roughly conceded the same amount of goals every season. It's about 50 or something around that sort of mark. And is that kind of as good as they're going to get? And I think Leeds having to do the same, where we have to build from the back defensively. We get as good as we possibly can, and then you augment the team with really good attacking players that can kind of push you up the league. Because I think one of the things there is, is it Dunk who plays for Brighton? Yeah. I mean, he was in the squad 4 or 5 years ago as well, and he's still a big part of that setup and what's given them that consistency. So I think us getting the sort of base of the team, which feels like is there, like it feels like there's some really good defensive quality, and the stats tell us that as well, that it is just a case of, all right, how do we play a bit better in attacking situations, and how do we get a really good player to complement that as a start point? And that's why it becomes more frustrating about not getting players like Boanate and etc. as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. It has, it's unfortunate as well. But thinking to Fulham, I think in their first season in the Premier League, they signed Willian. And that was a masterstroke. Like, I remember he scored quite a lot of goals. And even like getting around Raul Jimenez, that's a smart signing, isn't it? But these players don't just grow on trees, and every team can't have, just because like Fulham have got them, like there's not enough to go around for everybody. So sometimes you just have to be a bit lucky with things falling into place, and that's why Leeds tend to have like one good team every 10 years pretty much. And I don't know if that's a cycle for a lot of other teams, but it just sometimes you just need a bit of luck for everything to fall into place. And maybe it's happening now. We've got Ampadu, Bogle, Goodmanson looks good. Rodon, I think, is more than capable. There's players there to build on. But it's just whether we can escape this season. It's too early to say.
Two things. First one being, when you mentioned is it Will? I want to say William. It's not William, is it?
Close enough.
That's a Black Eyed Peas, but Willian makes me think of Adam, who I sit next to, his brother Gaz. Always used to sing when he played against his Macy Gray songs. Used to say he looks exactly like Macy Gray with his big hair, which I thought was very funny. And the other thing was Tanaka had said recently that he loves playing, words to the effect, I'm paraphrasing, that he loves playing with Joe Rodon because he gives him so much confidence, that he covers him and his passing is so good. And we said it before, I think there's a bunch of players that we take for granted that can step up into the Premier League, and I think they're showing signs of that already. And I think they're all building mental resilience. I think they have to quickly get over these sort of games and go into the next one. You don't see any of them. Ampadu in his post-match was, obviously upset at the loss, but level-headed, and I think that's what they need. Just need to quickly move on. And Longstaff, like we said earlier, is one of the people in the dressing room that will help them achieve that as well. So yeah, I think the squad makeup for where we're at is pretty good. We just need some help here and there, and maybe we will attack the January transfer window. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to. Yeah, and you never know. I mean, you might find different solutions. Okafor might play centrally. There's all sorts of things that options open to us.
Well,
So let's see.
Well, one of them, if you think about Harry Wilson as well, is I think his contract ends next summer. So,
Yeah.
and he's obviously not going to get a game now that Kevin's come in. It puts him even lower in the pecking order. So, come January, are they going to want to get some sort of fee from him and move him on? I'm not saying that that's the answer, but
Yeah,
you know,
I wasn't particularly impressed with him, nor Muniz either. I mean, it just goes to show you. I mean, I'd rather have them two that we got for free than spend even 30 million on him. I know it's one game, but
that is the maths, isn't it? Is one of those goes out, it's not costing an awful lot. £30 million player goes out, and you've had to sell one or two other players to get them. You're at a significant loss, aren't you? So, yeah, I mean, yeah, really looking forward to the game at the weekend, and we've got a couple of games, and then we're into international break, aren't we? And I don't know if you saw today, but next year they're closing the international break into 1 3-week break, aren't they? Which is a bit annoying when the season just gets going, isn't it?
Very strange. I saw it. I didn't read the reasons why. Do you know why they're
I don't want reasoning. I don't want any reason. I'm dealing with emotions here, Rocco.
Yeah, it's pathetic. And Bielsa won't be manager of Uruguay by then, so not good for me either. I love the international breaks, but yeah, after the World Cup, they can go to hell again.
Yeah. On that note, we'll probably call it a day. I don't think there's anything else. We usually have Dara to say one more ting, but there might be one more ting from you.
One more ting. Man of the match.
Oh yeah, probably should do that, shouldn't we?
Probably. Seems I mentioned it.
I think Caldalo for me.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I think there was a bunch of really good performances in there. I think Ampadu was really good. And like you said, Longstaff, really good as well. I think for me, it's probably between Longstaff and Darlow. I'm going to go Darlow.
Good. I'll go Strauch.
Nice.
I thought he did very well. I was very happy with him.
He's stepped up.
Yeah, I think he has. Yeah. And I don't know. When will we see Biol? When there's an injury, I suppose.
It's funny, isn't it? Because everyone does kind of say, why aren't we playing Biol? You see it on Twitter, don't you? Because everyone just wants to see the new shiny thing. But if it's not broke, don't try and fix it.
No, and I wasn't surprised. That Pascal he got his chance maybe because of the suspension, but I certainly wasn't surprised to see him keep his place. And, well, we should have had 4 clean sheets in 5 games. No, 3 and 4.
Someone else do the maths. We don't do maths.
4 and 5 after Wolves.
Yeah, they know what you mean. So, yeah, let's see what happens at the weekend. We'll be back shortly after that anyway. If not before, if something else happens. Dara is actually moving house, so we wish him the very best moving house. It's a very stressful time. We should have said you need to be on this, Dara. You're the Ampadu. You glue us together. But yeah, best of luck, mate. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining us on the live stream, and we'll be back very soon. Like and subscribe, as Dara would say. It is appreciated. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you all again soon.